Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. As I'm pretty sure you could tell from the title, this video will be about a brief history of Gothic literature. Now, I don't really read a lot of books, I don't really read a lot, just in general, but I do enjoy to read Gothic books and Gothic stories. They're just really fun to me. I like them a lot. I like the ambience of it, the atmosphere, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm not a critic. I'm not really a critic. But yeah. So, Gothic literature, as we know, starts in 1764 with Horace Walpole's, I don't know, book, The Castle of Otranto. I think that's how you say it too. I don't know. But the book follows a man named Manfred, who sends out his servant to go see his heir, Prince Conrad, who is marrying Lady Isabella. But when the servant gets there, he learns of Prince Conrad's death. And so bringing that news back to Manfred, and Manfred having no other heirs or a wife who can't have children anymore, he takes it upon himself to make Isabella his new wife. It's kind of weird, kind of dicey, taking your dead son's question mark soon to be wife to be your own wife. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird, not gonna lie. And a quote from Robert Spector about the book says, "It provided all the machinery of the Gothic genre. Its setting, theme, and subversive subject matter remained the stock material of the Gothic, whatever changes it underwent." The book contains prophecy, supernatural, abandoned wife, castle, ghosts, etc., etc. Stuff, maybe not the abandoned wife, but a lot of stuff you can find in a lot of other Gothic stories and books. And for several decades afterward, Gothic literature would be expanded upon with authors like Anne Radcliffe, Sir Walter Scott, and Jane Austen. So during the end of the 18th century, Gothic literature would become increasingly popular in Europe due to societal and economic and political unrest. This will lead the Gothic genre to go to the repressed fears of people at the time. This era, known as European Gothic, which started in 1764 with the book The Castle of Otranto, and it would end in 1820 with Charles Maturin's, I don't know, Charles Maturin's book Melmoth the Wanderer. Melmoth the Wanderer? I don't know. During this time, the Gothic genre found its place as a clash between modernity and antiquity, old versus the new, things like that. This clash was caused by mass societal upheaval in Europe and England during this time, with revolutions happening against monarchies and riots happening against the Catholic Church. The most famous of which being the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror that soon followed it. That's its whole other thing, though. That's its whole other thing. As well as rapid industrialization and a turn to capitalism, which led to upheaval in different cultures across Europe, leading to said instability. And these stories were also a way to indirectly critique the political climate of these countries and their leaders at the time, where direct critiques could, be punishable by state, primarily with treason. And back then, even now, but mainly back then, that was a pretty hefty crime to be charged with, And it also took other subjects besides politics, as well as education, religion, gender, and class. Gothic literature would make a jump across the pond, It would make a jump across the pond from Europe early England during the American Revolutionary War and post-war America. This genre resonated with American audiences because of the vulnerability, the conflict, and confusion both in Gothic literature and in the young nation, as it had just fought a war for freedom against England. And due to the nature of Gothic stories questioning society and the clash of the old and the new, question like thinking, is the old way really that good, or is the new way really the way to go? You know, just a lot of questioning. It was met with backlash from conservative groups at the time, and leaders in America and Europe who wanted to stick with the old would heavily criticize the Gothic genre, as it kind of questioned their power and things like that. I don't know the words. I can't speak words. But these stories didn't just question the old society. It didn't just question old and the new. It wanted to set the stage for the new society and new ideal forms of citizenship, such as challenging monarchy. Monarchies up until that time had been like the predominant way of governing for hundreds of years. It would also challenge patriarchy and the patriarchal elements in government and politics at the time, and kind of just all over different ideals and subjects. Like I said, religion, gender, class, education, stuff like that. And Gothic saw the rise of both women readers as well as women writers. This would lower the influence of clergymen in literature and literal publication. So, it will lower the power of, rich white dudes, I guess, in both writing books and having their books published, because, at the time, predominantly, male field, I guess. Is that the word? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how to speak. But this genre would also resonate with a growing middle class in England and America, because of it was like speaking kind of directly to them. They were in the clash of the old and the new, and that would lead to its explosion of popularity during the 1790s to the 1820. That was the peak. That was the peak. That was the prime. Prime energy. That was the prime of Gothic literature during that time. And some books that you might have heard of or read in the genre are Frankenstein, Dracula, A Picture of Dorian Gray, The Raven, and Stephen King's Salem Lot. I have personally read all of these except for Dracula, because I just haven't. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But my personal favorites of this genre being Salem's Lot and Frankenstein. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, a brief history of Gothic literature. This video does not do it justice, but, my bad.